This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Richard.
Now Richard grew up in the common man's part of Little Rock. He gets it. He doesn't understand West Little Rock like you.
Southwest Little Rock.
That's right.
Around Parkview High School. Yeah. No Chenal Country Club for me.
No.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to spend another 20 years trying to prove to people that I wasn't a country club kid growing up. I don't know if it's ever...
I do appreciate you picking up lunch at Chenal the other day, buddy.
You got it, man. You got it.
Where did you get all your manicures and pedicures out there? Or did you just have them come to the house?
I've only gotten one pedicure in my entire life in Tampa, Florida, at the SEC basketball tournament last year. It was the biggest waste of money. I spent $50. It's the worst $50 I've ever spent in my entire life. My feet hurt. They were still dry, and it was a waste of money. Just a waste of money. Richard, I do. Arkansas did get a football commitment recently of Jamarian Harris out of St. Louis. St. Louis got some talented players. We've talked about Ryan Wingo on the show, Ronnie's younger brother. So there's some other just dudes in that city. What can you tell us about the newest Arkansas commit in the class of 2025?
Outstanding running back, consensus 4-star prospect who visited Arkansas at least 3 times. The last time was in April, and I was able to talk to him, and his words are pretty strong after the visit, talking about Coach Jimmy Smith, saying that he felt like that he could trust him with his college career. That's pretty strong words there. And then talking to his coach a few weeks ago, he said, all I can say is he loves Arkansas. So going into his decision, I felt pretty good. And then I heard some other things that made me feel really good about Arkansas's chances. And obviously he chose to be a Razorback. And I think right there, Arkansas in past history has recruited St. Louis pretty good. I think that will help them going forward, especially with him being a 25 commitment. They'll get a lot of mileage out of that because, obviously he's still got 2 more years before he gets to Arkansas. But about 6 foot, about 185, a speedster type, make you miss. You talk to people in St. Louis, and they say he's a real deal.
I was listening to Matt Jones on halftime earlier this week, Richard, and he was really impressed with Isaiah Auguste, the kid from, if I believe correctly, Naples, Florida. What did you make of the true freshman's first performance against Western Carolina and Little Rock?
Was he physical or what?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that just blew me away. I mean, I know that's Western Carolina. That's a true freshman. And the dude looks like in a couple of years he has a chance to be just be a monster. His physicality is just a different level for most freshman running backs. I can say when he committed to Arkansas, Jimmy Smith was obviously just elated. They had been on him, and really he was kind of pretty much of an unknown. And some recruiting services didn't even have him ranked. He was initially ranked a 3-star, then he was elevated to a 4-star later on. I think Arkansas, for whatever reason, he flew underneath the radar until Arkansas got his commitment. And obviously very good size, about 6'1", about 210 pounds. I don't know what he is right now, but that's about what he was in high school. But I was just astonished at how physical he was. You just don't see too many freshmen have that physicality that early.
Yeah. It's been a good week or two, as Richard joins us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. It's been a good week or two for the offensive lining for Cody Kennedy. We talked about the kid out of Georgia that committed. There's also, I think this happened after you joined us last Wednesday, the kid from North Carolina. Was it Kai Greer, the 4-star offensive lineman? I don't think we've had a chance to ask you about him. I know that news is a few days old, but I guess my point is Cody Kennedy's had a good start to the regular season, if you will, and getting guys committed. This is a 4-star lineman.
No doubt. And, with Bear, he's a 26 guy who had had offers from Alabama, Georgia, and they were able to get him. And then with Greer, he visited back in April and had a great visit. And I know Arkansas felt really good about their chances and going into the official visits of June. But he visited Stanford and he visited Texas A&M. He was supposed to visit Arkansas, but he canceled after he visited Stanford and committed to them. I think that was somewhat of a surprise. And then I think afterwards he started really kind of thinking things out through, and then he realized Arkansas was his best opportunity. And 6'6", about 285, obviously very good frame. Sharp young man, typical offensive lineman. I think he's got a high 3-point-something GPA, but and they had a very good offer list. So that, yeah, you're right. He's a 4-star by one recruiting service and a 3-star by the others, but somebody that obviously was highly recruited and was a good get.
You had a good read where you talked to his high school coach, and I learned in there where Greer had grew up in Tulsa or spent a good bit of time growing up in Tulsa. So I don't know if that was the connection to the Razorbacks and maybe how he found it, but didn't hurt that before he went to North Carolina, he was in our part of the world.
Yeah, and let's face it, Tulsa is a strong, alumni base in Oklahoma. I mean, of course, it's one of the bigger ones. Obviously, Dallas is the biggest, but there's plenty of Razorback fans there, and I think just him being in Tulsa for those first few years of his life, I think he probably heard quite a bit about Arkansas, and I think that helped, and just being from this region. So, I do think that helped a little bit.
Richard Davenport with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, covered recruiting for quite some time, Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Richard, I want to jump to the National Football League this weekend. Plenty of former Hogs that are going to be suiting up for several different teams. You got anyone you're particularly interested in keeping an eye on this weekend, whether it's a rookie like Drew Sanders or some of the other guys that have been in the league for a while?
I really don't have anybody in particular. I mean, all I know is that whenever I look at games to potentially look at, I usually always favor the game with a Razorback and try to catch up and see how they're doing. So, and I guess Yeldon Forholt will always have a soft place in my heart because I was just so impressed with him being an exchange student from Denmark and coming over here and playing a game that's not really popular in his country, but he fell in love with it, and then him obviously becoming a Razorback. I got to know him and his family really well, and they're just a great family. And he just recently had his first child, so
oh wow,
that's pretty exciting for him. And he kind of bounced around a little bit initially, and it looks like he might have found his home in Arizona now. So as far as having a long tenure with a team, so he's doing quite well.
Yeah, I didn't realize Christian informed us yesterday in a Pro Hogs update that he's starting this week, and I had no idea about that. So it's pretty cool to see him possibly, again, have more of an impact with that organization, even though they look like they're tanking at this point.
So, first game in Fayetteville, I don't know, is there much of a list for this weekend being the opener and Kent State? What have you learned about anyone maybe visiting this weekend?
Right now, I haven't been able to really check into it. Usually Thursday's a good time to really start finding out, who's coming, because a lot of guys, they'll wait till the last second to add their name to the list, but usually Thursdays is when you have a better idea. I'm going to suspect, and from what I can gather, I'm going to suspect that the BYU game is going to be the game that most of the recruits kind of focus on, with it being a 6:30 game. Even though a 3 o'clock game is still very good to be able to get guys to Fayetteville because of the time, but 6:30 makes it even better, makes it much more easier to get to. But and plus, it's quite a bit more more attractive game. I think after what Central Florida did to Kent State, I think kids may say, let's just hold off till the BYU game.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.